Parliament was due to elect commissioners to serve on the bodies for the next 5 years. The Umkhonto weSizwe party has nominated impeached Judge Dr. John Hlophe, while the ANC has nominated Soviet Lekganyane and Fasiha Hassan. The Democratic Alliance has nominated Glynnis Breytenbach. Athol Trollip has been nominated by ActionSA and Julius Malema by the Economic Freedom Fighters. We're joined by Judges Matters Mbekezeki Benjamin to unpack their position. Good evening, Mbekezeli. So you've made the call for individuals of high integrity to serve on the JSC. Just talk us through your position.
Good evening, Mfundo, and good evening to the listeners. Yes, our position is very simple, actually. What we're saying is that the people to decide on who becomes a judge and who becomes a magistrate in South Africa should be the people of the highest possible standards. They should be ethical people who are honest, who are serious about being public representatives, and who should represent the public and the people of South Africa to the best of their ability. So the JSC and the Magistrates Commission are quite crucial institutions because not only do they appoint judges and magistrates, but they ensure that those judicial officers and the courts perform to the standards and they provide access to justice to South Africans. Mm-hmm. So for those commissions to be effective, they need the very best people, and Parliament has that opportunity to send the best of the best to those commissions.
Mm-hmm. Now, as some had suspected, Dr. John Hlophe, the impeached judge, has been selected by the MK party to serve on the JSC. Your views on that?
Well, look, for us, we see people who have been ethically compromised as being unsuitable to be members of both the Magistrates Commission and the Judicial Service Commission. For example, Ms. Faith Muthambi was criticized by the court during her time as Minister of Communications. The court said that she did not understand her role properly, she did not fulfill her role properly, and she fulfilled her role in a way that was against the law and the standards that are expected of a person in her office. Similarly, the Judicial Service Commission found Dr. Hlophe guilty of gross misconduct, which is the worst form of misconduct, and they subsequently impeached him and removed from office. So those kinds of people, it's very hard for them to assess the ethics of aspirant lawyers and aspirant judges if they themselves have been found by adjudicative bodies as being ethically compromised. Mm-hmm. So that for us, it simply is a non-starter. You can't be assessing the ethics of others if you yourself have three fingers pointing back at you. Mm-hmm. So we think that they are not suitable, and it was in fact a mistake for Parliament today to put forward the name of Ms. Muthambi to the Magistrates Commission.
Mm-hmm. But what of those that have said legally nothing precluded the likes of Dr. John Hlophe from being sworn in Parliament, so essentially they can serve on such a commission?
Well, yes, absolutely. Legally, one can say that it is above board, but the law is not the only consideration. That's why we emphasize the issue of ethics. And in fact, we for the last 3-4 years, Judges Matter has been clear that we want a code of conduct for the Magistrates Commission and the Judicial Service Commission. We want commissioners on those commissions to be quite serious in their responsibilities. They must adhere to high ethical standards, and if they fail to do so, there should be a possibility for them to be recalled. That code of conduct will not only be a legal document, it is an ethical document. And so for us, ethics are much more important. Whatever is written in the law is obviously important, but it's not the whole story, because the people that we want on those commissions are the people who will be assessing the ethics of lawyers, because mm-hmm. one of the criterions of being appointed as a judge is that you must be a fit and proper person. You must be an ethical person. So it is ironic for you to be tested on your ethics by people who have been found conclusively that they have not acted ethically.
Mm-hmm. But this legal lacuna or gap in law, do you think it does need to be addressed in future so that there are no situations such as these where it's only left to people debating that should such a person be perhaps sworn into Parliament or not? Should it be addressed?
Well, absolutely. It would be great if the law was changed to keep up with the ethical standards required for public office. But we don't think that we should wait until the law is changed. Already as South Africans, we know what is right, we know what is wrong. We don't need the law to tell us that. But we know that from our own ethical standards and the ethical standards that should be expected from people who discharge an important constitutional responsibility, an important public function, those people, we should be able to quite easily say, look, we want the best to come forward, we want people who are honest and ethical to do the job, and that doesn't really need the law to be amended for that kind of thing to happen. And what we as Judges Matter are saying is that Parliament now has that responsibility, and Parliament should do so when it comes to nominating people to the Magistrates Commission and the Judicial Service Commission.
Mbekezeki, thank you very much for your time as always. That's Mbekezeki Benjamin from Judges Matter.